We are about to take a journey to one of the most unique places on Earth, Vatican City, and explore the life and leadership of one of its most influential leaders, Pope Francis. Vatican City is the smallest country in the world, less than half a square kilometre in size, and completely surrounded by the city of Rome. Despite its tiny size, the Vatican holds enormous spiritual and historical significance. It is the spiritual headquarters of the Roman Catholic Church, serving more than 1 billion Catholics across the globe. Within the Vatican's walls are some of the most iconic landmarks in religious history: the Sistine Chapel with Michelangelo's ceiling, St. Peter's Basilica, and the Vatican Museums, Peter's Basilica, and the residence of the Pope himself. The Vatican Museums hold priceless works of art, and the entire city-state operates as both a religious and diplomatic centre for the Church. But the Vatican is more than relics and monuments. It is also a powerful voice in global affairs, one that speaks to moral, ethical, and humanitarian concerns. And no one represents that voice today more clearly than Pope Francis. Born Jorge Mario Bergoglio in Buenos Aires, Argentina, Pope Francis became the 266th Pope of the Roman Catholic Church in March 2013. His election followed the historic resignation of Pope Benedict XV, the first pope to step down in nearly 600 years. Francis brought many firsts. He is the first pope from the Americas, the first Jesuit pope, and the first to choose the name Francis in honor of Saint Francis of Assisi, a saint known for humility, care for the poor, and love of nature. That choice of name was not just symbolic. It became a clear sign of the kind of leadership he would offer. Pope Francis quickly gained a reputation for his humility and down-to-earth style. While past popes lived in grand papal apartments, Francis chose a modest guest house. He carries his own briefcase, wears simple shoes, and once paid his own hotel bill after his election, actions that resonated with many people. He often reaches out to the poor and marginalized, embraces those with disabilities, and has performed the traditional foot-washing ritual for prisoners. His leadership style is centered on compassion, inclusion, and simplicity. Francis frequently addresses global issues such as poverty, inequality, climate change, and migration. In 2015, he published Laudato Si, a powerful document calling for environmental protection and climate action. The encyclical was widely praised even outside the Church by politicians, scientists, and activists alike. One defining trait of Pope Francis is his openness to dialogue, even on sensitive or controversial topics. He has encouraged the Church to be more welcoming toward those who have felt excluded, including divorced individuals and LGBTQ+ people. While Church teachings have not fundamentally changed, Francis's tone has fostered more open conversations. His remark, "Who am I to judge?" when asked about gay priests, marked a significant cultural shift within the Church, even if it was not a formal policy change. This approach has inspired many and challenged others. Some believe he is modernizing the Church, while others think he is moving too quickly or blurring traditional lines. Still, most agree that he has brought fresh energy and visibility to the papacy. Pope Francis also plays a vital role on the global stage. The Vatican has diplomatic relations with more than 180 countries, and the Pope often serves as a mediator in times of conflict. Notably, he helped facilitate restored diplomatic ties between the United States and Cuba during the Obama administration. He speaks out against war, calls for compassion toward refugees, and promotes interfaith dialogue with leaders of other religions, especially among Christians, Jews, and Muslims. Despite his popularity, Pope Francis faces enormous challenges. The Church continues to reckon with the legacy of sexual abuse scandals. While Francis has taken steps toward transparency and accountability, critics argue that more action is needed. He also faces opposition from within the Church. Some conservative factions see him as too progressive, while reformers think he has not gone far enough. Balancing global diversity, centuries of tradition, and modern expectations is no easy task. At age 88, Pope Francis made his peaceful passing and left with us a tremendous legacy. Actually, his legacy is still unfolding as he has reshaped the image of the Pope, not just as a doctrinal authority, but as a compassionate leader, reformer, and moral voice for the world. So what happens next at the Vatican when a pope passes away? The world watches as centuries-old traditions unfold within its ancient walls. With over 1 billion followers, the Roman Catholic Church enters a period of mourning, followed by one of the most fascinating rituals in religious life: the selection of a new pope. When a pope dies, the Camerlengo, a cardinal who administers the church between papacies, confirms the death. Traditionally, this is done by calling the pope's baptismal name 3 times. When there is no response, the pope is declared dead. The Vatican then enters the sede vacante period, Latin for the seat being vacant. The pope's ring is ceremonially destroyed, and daily masses are held over a 9-day mourning period known as the Novem Diales. After mourning, the College of Cardinals gathers in Rome. Cardinals under the age of 80 are eligible to vote in the election, which is called the Conclave. It takes place in the Sistine Chapel, sealed off from the outside world to ensure confidentiality. To elect a new pope, a 2/3 majority is required. Each cardinal writes a name on a ballot and votes are cast in silence. If no decision is reached, the ballots are burned with chemicals to produce black smoke. White smoke signals that a new pope has been chosen. Once the decision is made, the world hears the words, "Habemus Papam," we have a pope. The new pope then steps out to greet the world and delivers his first blessing, known as Urbi et Orbi, to the city and the world. Soon after, a papal inauguration mass takes place in St. Peter's Square. The new pope is given the fisherman's ring and a woolen stole called the pallium, symbols of his new role as the Church's shepherd. The election of a pope marks both continuity and change. While rooted in tradition, the process ushers in new leadership and direction. Each pope brings a unique perspective, and the world watches with hope, curiosity, and anticipation. The Vatican, rich in history, continues to evolve. Through leaders like Pope Francis and those who follow, it remains a living symbol of faith, service, and transformation.
I've got more magic than just presents. The next video will slay you. Click it, or it's an empty box for Christmas, labeled Imagination.